And what is going on, my Uber peeps? It's Uber Guy Connecticut, meaning I drive in Connecticut, with another video. And this is again how to be a success, or how to have a successful career driving for Uber. By success, we mean that not only do you make a lot of money, but you have a good rating system. And what I want to cover just briefly in this little video, and then we will move on to some other things. What we want to cover briefly is tips to help you be a success. We talked about in the previous video some basic things that will help you be a success, to have a good rating. We talked about having a clean vehicle and getting yourself a membership to the car wash, and paying a certain amount a month and having them clean it. I personally have to take, even driving in Connecticut right now, it's summertime. It is Lord, what month is it? It is July the 3rd, and I have to get my car cleaned at least 3 times a week. And in the wintertime, it's more than that. In New England, where I drive in Connecticut, you get the snow and the grime and the dirt and the salt on your vehicle. People tracking dirt and mud in and out of your vehicle during the winter months, and so I have to get it cleaned even more often then. So it is probably a wise thing to, have that membership. If not, you're going to be paying each time you go get it cleaned, unless you do it yourself. And who's got time for that? Let them do it. It usually takes them 15 or 20 minutes to run it through there and vacuum it out and get it nice, and you're back on the road driving. So that's one of the things that I do. We talked about that this morning. We also talked about being nice, talking to people. And I said this morning, in the last video I should say, if you don't like people, then you probably should look for another line of work. If you're not very talkative, if you don't have a good positive personality, let me just tell you up front, this is probably not going to work for you. Some people want to talk and they want to know all about who you are and about your business. Just answer the question, complete the ride, and move on. You can even make up stuff. If you haven't put it in your profile, you don't necessarily have to tell people all of your business if you don't want them to know, but be talkative to people. You will find that people will be more responsive and will rate you, I should say, higher than normally they would if you don't talk to them. Okay, so that's another tip that you can do to be a successful Uber driver. Now, we also consider being a success making money. Listen, if you're not making money, why are you driving, burning your gas, which you paid for? If you're not making money, going from place to place, spending money on car washes and picking up people, if it's not working out for you, what you want to do is figure out, if you're talking about making money, what you want to do is figure out the market that you live in. Now, some cities in the United States and around the world are just major bankroll money, depending on when you drive. If you're lucky enough to be able to drive in New York City, or one of the major metropolises, or San Francisco, or Las Vegas, or Orlando, or Los Angeles, or Dallas, or one of those big cities, and you're probably making a lot of money. But you can still make a good living even if you don't live in one of those places. It is not uncommon for Uber drivers to quit their jobs. That's what I did, and I just drive Uber and Lyft too, full time, and I do it in Connecticut, and I make a good living. It's not uncommon to bank $8,000-9,000 a week, $1,500 a week, when you consider all of the things that you can do to make money. I drive what's called Uber X. That is the smallest class vehicle. I have 4 seats available for passengers, but you can also invest in another vehicle called Uber XL, and then Uber Black and things of that sort, where you can make even more money. But I drive Uber X, and it's not uncommon to make $700, $800, $900 a week, and even more, depending on when you want to drive. Know the area that you are working in. Pick the city. Here's the key: you want to find a city that is busy, but you don't want to be in the midst of the city. because the other drivers are going to be in there, and you just don't want to hang out with 15 other drivers because you'll never get any calls. Find the city that you live in or the nearest busy city that you live in. Hang out on the outskirts of that city, perhaps in one of the surrounding towns, and then drive to where that is and wait. You may wait a little longer for calls, but the rides that you get will be longer. Instead of having an average ride of where you may get paid $4 or $5 or $6 or $7, the rides become longer, and you're going to get $10 or $12 or $15 a ride. 2 or 3 of those an hour, and you can see what that adds up to. Do 2 $15 rides, one every half hour. That's $30 an hour. Picture that over a daytime. If you work 8 hours a day, you're looking at making $250 a day. It's doable, and even more depending on what class vehicle you drive. So I'm encouraging you to experiment with the area where you are. Here's another secret. Know the evenings when people are going to go out, when they're going to go to the clubs, when the college students are going to want to go out, and that's when you want to drive. That's when you want to drive. They're always wanting to go somewhere. Be nice to those people. Be talkative to those people, because if you do, they're going to tell you what their plans are. Oh, we're going here first, then we're going to go here, and then we're going to have this destination. And 9 out of 10 times, they're taking Uber trips to get to where they're going, or they're taking Lyft trips to get to where they're going. So you can either tell them that you will pick them up and you will wait for them, be in that area when they make their change their destinations, or you can just station yourself out there and you'll get the calls. It is not rocket science. This is very easy to do. You can make a lot of money doing this if you want to, or you can make just as much as you want or as little as you want. Work 1 or 2 hours a day, or work 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day, depending on what you're able to do. A couple of other things. Trying to be a successful Uber driver, you want to minimize the money that you are putting out. Remember, a lot of things, eat into the profit margin that you have. So if you have a 4-cylinder car like I do, I have a Ford Fusion, not the hybrid, but a Ford Fusion. It's a 4-cylinder. It's very good on gas. I get about 35 miles to the gallon on the highway, and 28 to 30 in the city. It is very economical on gas, so I'm not spending, all of the profits that I make, on gas. And there's a lot of other things that you could do too. Make sure your vehicle is up, the engine and all that's up to spec. Get regular engine checkups and things like that. Go over to Firestone or Pep Boys or one of those people, or to your dealer, and have them run the regular maintenance checks and do the stuff that you're supposed to do, so that you can have a long, successful life working for Uber. Just trying to make sure that everyone is a success. When the company is a success, it filters down to the people who are working. The more people who have confidence in Uber, advertising Uber now, the more people who have confidence in Uber, the more people who will want to download the app, and the more people who will call for rides, translates to profits for us. Did you hear what I said? The more people who have confidence in Uber, the more people who download the app, the more markets that the company moves into, translates to profits for the driver and the company, but for the driver. All right? Here's one more thing that you can do to make money. Your referral code, and mine's at the bottom of the screen. Your referral code on my YouTube page, mine's at the bottom of the screen. Your referral code will get you money when people sign up to drive for Uber. If you're watching me and you're wondering, can I do this? Can I make money? Let me tell you, you are exactly where I was last year about this time. I worked last year 4 months for Uber. From August, I think, to December, to the end of the year, August to the end of the year, to right around Christmas time. And I didn't drive much around Christmas time because you know how it is. I was busy. But in those 4 months, I made $17,000, and I am not kidding you. So if you're wondering, can you do this? Yes, you can. Use that referral code, and you'll make money. Mine's at the bottom of the screen. I hope this has helped you. More videos to come. Click on that link and you can sign up to drive too. If you get referred by me, If you use my link, it is worth a certain amount of money to you. In Connecticut, my referral code is worth $160 to me, but it might be different to where you are. It could be as much as $1,000 for you, and all you have to do is drive the minimal amount of times. That's all you have to do, maybe 50 rides or 100 rides, and that money is yours in addition to what you make driving. So I encourage you, try it. You will not be disappointed. Uber Guy Connecticut here saying, go make that money. Bye.